Philosophies Revived.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's close to all our hearts, failure. But wait, we're not just talking about failure in the usual sense. We're going to flip the script and discuss how to replace failure with feedback. That's right, feedback. It's the best way to deal with setbacks and always keep moving towards success. Before we get started, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our weekly dose of motivation and practical tips for achieving your dreams. And don't forget to comment below and share your own stories of overcoming setbacks. Let's inspire each other. What is failure? Let's kick things off by addressing the elephant in the room, failure. The dictionary defines failure as a lack of success. But for most of us, it's more than just not achieving something. It feels like a wall, a barrier that stops us in our tracks and makes us question our abilities. We see failure as this ominous shadow that looms over us, whispering doubts and discouragement. But here's something that might surprise you. The people who are the most successful are often those who have failed the most. Think about it. How can that be? How can the people who seem to have it all together, who have reached the pinnacles of their careers, be the same ones who have faced numerous setbacks? The answer lies in their perception. These successful individuals don't view failure as an end. Instead, they see it as a form of feedback, a way to learn, adapt, and grow. They don't let criticism and setbacks deter them. Instead, they rise above it, using every piece of feedback as a stepping stone towards their ultimate goals. Failure, in its traditional sense, is often seen as a negative outcome. But what if we start looking at it differently? What if, instead of seeing failure as a dead end, we view it as a crucial part of the journey to success? This shift in perspective can make all the difference. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. How often have you let the fear of failure stop you from pursuing something you're passionate about? How many times have you faced a setback and thought, well, that's it, I'm done? What if, instead, you asked yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? This change in mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice and conscious effort. But once you start seeing failures as feedback, you'll begin to notice a transformation in how you approach challenges. You'll start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You'll become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately more successful. The power of feedback. Let's dive deeper into this concept of feedback. Imagine you're playing a video game. Each time your character dies, you don't give up, right? You learn from it. Maybe you figure out that you need to jump over that obstacle or dodge that attack. Each setback gives you valuable information on how to improve and get further in the game. Life works in a similar way. Every setback, every so-called failure, is life's way of giving you feedback. It's like the universe saying, hey, that approach didn't work. Try something different. This feedback is incredibly powerful because it helps you understand what's working and what's not. It guides you to adjust your strategies, refine your methods, and ultimately, get closer to your goals. Think about a time when you received constructive criticism at work or school. Maybe it stung a little at first, but if you took it to heart and made the necessary changes, chances are you saw improvement. That's the power of feedback. It's not about pointing out what you did wrong. It's about highlighting areas for growth and improvement. The key is to stay open to feedback and not take it personally. This can be tough because, let's face it, nobody likes being told they messed up. But if you shift your perspective and see feedback as a tool for growth, rather than a judgment on your abilities, it becomes a lot easier to handle. Another important aspect of feedback is that it fosters a growth mindset. According to psychologist Carol Dweck, a growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort and perseverance. When you embrace feedback, you're essentially embracing a growth mindset. You're acknowledging that you're not perfect, but you're willing to learn and improve. Feedback also encourages innovation and creativity. When you're open to feedback, you're more likely to experiment with new ideas and approaches. You're not afraid to take risks because you know that even if things don't work out, you'll get valuable feedback that will help you in the future. This willingness to innovate is a key trait of successful people. Tom's story. Let's bring this idea to life with a real-world example. Meet Tom. Tom had always dreamed of opening the best pizza place in his city. He loved cooking, especially making pizzas, and he believed that his recipes were top-notch. With the support of his friends and family, he leased a spot, got all the necessary licenses, and opened his restaurant. At first, things were great. People loved his pizzas, and the place was buzzing with customers. But after a few months, the crowd started to dwindle. Tom was confused and devastated. What was he doing wrong? He could have seen this as a failure and thrown in the towel, but instead, he decided to seek feedback. Tom started personally handing out feedback forms to his customers after their meals. He wanted to know what they thought about his food, service, and overall dining experience. He didn't just hand out the forms and leave it at that. He genuinely listened to what his customers had to say. After reviewing the feedback, he realized that his pizza dough needed improvement. The taste was fine, but the texture wasn't quite right. He also learned that while people liked his recipes, they felt the menu was too limited. Armed with this valuable feedback, Tom knew what he had to do. He used his remaining capital wisely. Instead of pouring it all into advertising, he hired experts to help him improve the quality of his dough and expand his menu. He also did some rebranding to give his restaurant a fresh look. Slowly but surely, customers started coming back. This time, they were not only happy with the food, but also appreciated the new variety and quality. However, the challenges didn't stop there. Just when things were looking up, a new pizza place opened right across the street. It was modern, had a trendy ambience, and soon started attracting Tom's customers. This new competition hit Tom hard. He had bills to pay, a mortgage, and kids' tuition fees. But instead of seeing this as a defeat, Tom saw it as another opportunity for feedback. He went to the new pizza place to see what they were doing differently. He ordered their food, observed their service, and took notes. He realized that while their pizza quality was similar, they offered a wider variety and a better dining experience. They had created an ambience that made people want to stay longer and enjoy their meals. Tom took this feedback to heart. He applied for a business loan and used the funds to further improve his restaurant. He expanded his menu to include a variety of pizzas and side dishes. He also revamped the interiors to create a more inviting ambience. The changes paid off. Customers started flocking back to Tom's pizzeria, and even some of the loyal customers from the new place began visiting him. Through continuous learning and adapting based on feedback, Tom's pizzeria eventually became the best in the city. His journey wasn't a straight line to success. It was filled with ups and downs, but by using feedback, Tom turned every setback into a stepping stone towards his dream. Why feedback works. Tom's story highlights why feedback is so effective. First, it helps us understand what's working and what's not. Without feedback, we're just guessing. But with feedback, we have concrete information that guides us in making the right changes. Second, feedback keeps us focused on growth. It reminds us that we're always learning and improving. This mindset is crucial because it keeps us motivated even when things get tough. When we see every setback as a learning opportunity, we're more likely to keep pushing forward. Feedback also promotes innovation. When we're open to feedback, we're not afraid to try new things. We know that even if our new ideas don't work out, we'll get valuable insights that will help us in the future. This willingness to experiment and take risks is what drives innovation and creativity. Changing your mindset. Now, let's talk about changing your mindset. This isn't just a feel-good idea, it's backed by science. According to research, only 8% of people achieve their goals. Why? Because most people give up after facing a few setbacks. They see these setbacks as failures and let them crush their motivation. But those who succeed, they replace the concept of failure with feedback. They stay flexible, keep learning, and keep adapting. They understand that feedback is a powerful tool that helps them improve and grow. Changing your mindset starts with a simple shift in perspective. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, start seeing them as feedback. This doesn't mean you won't feel disappointed or frustrated when things don't go as planned. Those feelings are natural, but it does mean that you won't let those setbacks define you or stop you from pursuing your goals. Let's break it down with an analogy. Imagine you're a sailor navigating through rough seas. Every time you hit a wave, it pushes you off course. But instead of seeing these waves as obstacles, you see them as feedback. Each wave teaches you something new about navigating the seas. You learn to adjust your sails, steer your boat differently, and use the waves to your advantage. Over time, you become a master sailor, capable of navigating even the roughest seas. Life is much like this journey. Every setback is a wave pushing you off course. But with the right mindset, you can use these waves as feedback to adjust your course and keep moving forward. This shift in perspective is powerful because it changes how you respond to challenges. One way to foster this mindset is by practicing gratitude. When you face a setback, take a moment to reflect on what you can learn from it. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, focus on what you can do differently next time. This simple practice can transform your outlook and help you stay motivated. Another strategy is to surround yourself with positive influences. Seek out mentors, friends, and colleagues who embrace a growth mindset and are open to feedback. Their attitudes and behaviors will inspire you to do the same. Remember, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, choose wisely. Real-life examples. Let's look at some real-life examples of people who have embraced this mindset and turned their setbacks into feedback. Take J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. Before she became one of the most successful authors in history, she faced numerous rejections. 12 publishers rejected her manuscript before one finally saw its potential. Each rejection was a piece of feedback that helped her refine her work and ultimately achieve her dream. Or consider Thomas Edison. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's journey to inventing the light bulb was filled with countless setbacks, but each one was a learning opportunity, a piece of feedback that brought him closer to his goal. His perseverance and willingness to learn from his mistakes eventually led to one of the greatest inventions in history. Another example is Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, Oprah was fired from her job as a television news anchor. She could have seen this as a failure and given up on her dreams. But instead, she used the feedback from that experience to find her true calling. She went on to create one of the most successful talk shows in history and became a global media mogul. These stories highlight a common theme. Successful people don't let setbacks define them. They see every challenge as an opportunity for feedback and growth. They stay resilient, keep learning, and continue moving forward, no matter how many times they stumble. Now, let's bring it back to you. What's your goal? What dream are you pursuing? Maybe you want to start your own business, write a book, or run a marathon. Whatever it is, know that setbacks are part of the journey. They're not there to stop you, but to teach you. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this feedback to improve? By shifting your mindset and embracing feedback, you turn every obstacle into an opportunity for growth. Practical tips for using feedback. So how can you start using feedback in your own life? Here are some practical tips. Ask for feedback. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback from others. whether it's from friends, family, or colleagues. Constructive criticism can provide valuable insights. Approach people you trust and respect and ask for their honest opinions. Be specific about what you want feedback on, whether it's a project you're working on or a skill you're trying to improve. Stay open-minded. It's easy to get defensive when receiving feedback. Instead, stay open-minded and see it as a chance to learn. Remember, feedback is not a personal attack. It's a tool to help you grow. Take a deep breath, listen carefully, and consider the feedback with an open heart. Reflect on feedback. Take time to reflect on the feedback you receive. What can you learn from it? How can you apply it to improve? Reflecting on feedback helps you understand the underlying message and how it can benefit you. It's not about making immediate changes, but about understanding the broader perspective. Take action. Feedback is only valuable if you act on it. Make the necessary changes and keep moving forward. Create a plan to implement the feedback and track your progress. Taking action shows that you value the feedback and are committed to improving. Celebrate progress. Finally, celebrate your progress. Every small improvement is a step toward your goal. Recognize your achievements and keep pushing forward. Celebrating progress keeps you motivated and reinforces the positive impact of feedback. By following these tips, you can make feedback a powerful tool for growth and success. Remember, feedback is not about pointing out what you did wrong. It's about helping you become better. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to achieve your dreams. Replacing failure with feedback is a game changer. It transforms setbacks into stepping stones and turns criticism into valuable lessons. Remember, the road to success is rarely a straight line. It's a journey filled with learning, growth, and continuous improvement. So, the next time you face a setback, don't see it as a defeat. See it as feedback. Use it to learn, adapt, and keep moving forward. And one day, you'll find yourself in that elite 8% club, having achieved your goals and more. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your own stories of overcoming setbacks in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to keep pushing forward. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for more weekly inspiration. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, every setback is just a setup for your next comeback.